This is our third and I believe final video, hopefully if we make it in, of the train body. And what we're going to do is we're going to make the holes. So there's holes here, and we're going to use the hole feature, and it tells us how big that hole is. 1/4 UNC is the screw type, and it's a threaded screw. So it's going to, you'll be able to actually put an actual screw in there. It's not just a normal hole. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the hole feature, and we're going to click on the 4 parts that we want. And it's nice because if you look next to that, the cursor, it tells you how many. So there's 4 of them, right? And we're going to look, it says 1/4 20 UNC. So 1/4 is the size, the diameter of that circle. 20 is the how many threads per inch. Okay, and it says in here that we want it to be 0.875 times 4. Times 4 means for all 4 of them. It doesn't, you don't actually multiply it by 4. And if we look, it tells you all those things, right? Like that's the how big it is, right? And it automatically sets it to what we want. Like if you choose a number 6 screw, it'll change the size automatically. So it's really nice. It's a nice feature. We want it 1/4 and the 20. And the total depth from there is 0.875. 0.875. Okay. And it gives you the recommended. It's like automatically fills it in for you. So it's nice. You're able to put it in there, right? We can see all this stuff. And if you want to be able to move the shape like this, right? If you put both fingers on your trackpad at once, and then you click on the mouse, you'll be able to turn. Okay, if you're using a Chromebook. If you're using something with 2 buttons on there, you can click on the right and then move it around. It's a really nice feature. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put these holes here. So again, this is on the front face. And look how nice that there's these points here. Again, there's a lot of dimensions, but if you start off and focus on one little aspect of it at once, you'll be able to figure it out. So let's make a sketch. And I like to make sure I'm looking at it nicely. It's just my preference. It helps me see. And there's 3 holes. So we'll make 3 points. And just like everything else, we're going to dimension it. So from here to here. So I'm going to look at my drawing. So from this point to the edge, right? So let's look. So from this point to the edge, if I go down, see that's the arrow that points to it. And that goes to the edge. So that's 0.375. Just take a minute, I'm not sure why. And then we'll dimension from here to here. It went crazy on me, which is okay. Like this is a great thing to see. I just clicked on it and I pressed delete. And I'll redo it. So I'll press here and I'll press here and I'll drag it out. And then I'll look. Okay, so that's this direction, right? And that's 0.125. You see how those arrows point to that line? So from the bottom to there, it's 0.125. So 0.125. And it's symmetric, so we'll do the exact same thing over here. 0.375 and 0.125. Now I'm going to guess that this is going to be right in the center. So we know that the whole thing is 2. If you don't know that by now, something going on. And then we want, so that means that distance is 1. And then let's look to see. So from here, I drag my line until there's an arrow pointing. This arrow looks like it's passing through that line, so it's not that one. This arrow's on that line, directly pointing to it. So it's 0.625 from the bottom. Okay, and then there's circles. We could also use the hole feature, but I'm just going to stick around with circles. And those circles, see how this arrow is pointing to it? So it tells us it's a diameter of 1.25, and then the depth is 1.25. The times 3 means you're doing it for all 3 of them. It's like typical. So I'll click on that. So that's 0.125, 0.125. That didn't like what I did. But I'll double click on it. Didn't like it, so that's okay. So I'll just delete it. And we'll try it again. 0.125. I'm not sure why that's doing that, but we will fix it. I'll just redo that circle. Sometimes when things happen like that, it's okay. You're just going to delete it and start over. And that happens all the time. You don't have to be upset about it. You're like, why did that happen? I don't know. But we could start over. Not a problem. So I'm going to extrude it and I want to remove, right? And that's 0.125, which again is that arrow. All right, and now there's just one more piece to do. And that's the top hole. All right, so to do that, I'm going to, and honestly, I don't always remember where everything is at, but that's not it. Let's keep looking. Where the plane is, offset from the surface. So we'll offset. Oh, plane. Sorry. Offsetting the plane. And I don't really know how tall it's going to be, but I know if I drag it to it, right, I'm going to get it. That's probably about right. If you look, actually, I think it's 0.1.3. We'll get you to the crest right there. I'm going to press OK, or the checkbox. And then I'm going to create a sketch. And you're going to have a hard time. Like, make sure that you know. See, that's the plane that I wanted. So I click on it. Just like everything else, I like to really see where I'm at. Put a point. Every time we do it, we have to dimension. It's never a good idea just to put the point there. And from the back to there is 0.875. So 0.875. And the center of it right? We know that that whole distance is 2, so the center is 1. And the final thing is it's a diameter of 0.5 and a depth of 0.25. We'll dimension it, 0.5. And then we'll extrude. And we want to remove. And that depth is 0.25. Okay. And the last piece that we can do, if you look down here where it says round all edges to 0.1. So you can fillet all those round edges, or all the edges in general, for 0.1. Okay? The other thing that we should do before we're done is if you right click on it, we're Part Studio, Part 1, let's rename this. And this is the body. And it's important to keep track of all this stuff. So that's the body, right? And next time we'll look at the stack.